Independence Day, also known as July 4th, is considered to be the birthday of the United States of America. But what exactly happened to bring America as we know it into being? I'm Nick. Welcome to All Our Questions, where I search the internet for questions we all want answers to, and I answer them, starting right now. Back in 1776, the Continental Congress, who was a group of delegates brought together to govern the 13 American colonies during the American Revolutionary War, signed a document, if you're an American, you're going to be pretty familiar with this, called the Declaration of Independence. This document created a legal separation from and announced that the 13 American colonies would no longer be under British rule. But let's go back even further and see how the Declaration of Independence became something that was needed in the first place to figure out why exactly the 13 American colonies even wanted to be independent. But first, before we get into that, we need to define independence. And for that, I'm going to bring in my buddy Brian G. Johnson, who is going to give you an inspirational definition of independence. Brian?
Hey, thanks, Nick. You know, the definition of independent is freedom from outside control. It's not depending on others' authority over you. It's staking your claim and deciding it shall be. I've created a video on this very subject, personal independence. Find it in the YouTube card, and I'll see you over at my place. B to the G, I'm on the TV, poof, pixie dust.
Thanks, Brian, that was awesome. Now that we know what it means to be independent, let's break down what happened on America's journey to becoming independent. The 13 colonies were originally British colonies, and because of the lack of representation in Parliament, local laws, and the unwillingness of the Americans to pay taxes, along with other issues, the Americans started protesting. Protests led to boycotts. Boycotts led to Americans destroying a shipment of tea, which was a big event known as the Boston Tea Party, which in turn caused the British government to completely shut down the port of Boston. The Americans, who were not pleased at all with this power move, set up a shadow government and took control of a province outside of Boston, which helped fuel their resistance. Things are starting to get even more heated up now. The 12 other colonies supported this move and took the necessary steps to form the Continental Congress, which I mentioned earlier, so they could organize their resistance efforts. Things started getting out of hand when the British government attempted to seize American arms. Not those kind of arms, these kind of arms. This move set ablaze a full-blown war between the Kingdom of Great Britain and the 13 American colonies. Once the war was in full swing, a gentleman by the name of John Adams, who was a lawyer, author, statesman, and eventually ended up being the second president of the United States, persuaded Congress to have the first draft of the Declaration of Independence written by Thomas Jefferson, who later became the third president of the United States. This draft, later finalized by Congress, was meant to explain why Congress voted on July 2nd to declare their independence from Great Britain. This was such a big deal at the time that John Adams wrote a letter to his wife saying, "The second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America." He was a couple days off from what we see as the big day because the vote took place on the 2nd, which still made it a huge day, but the document didn't actually get signed until the 4th, but whatever. I mean, the idea was still there that this was a huge historical event taking place. This document not only marked the independence of America, but it also stands as a statement for human rights, or the independence of other human beings, because of the second sentence that reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And that is the foundation of how America came into being. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up so other people can find this video in the future. If you would like to support All Our Questions and help the spread of knowledge, there is now a Patreon link down in the description below where you could help out if you choose to. And I would like to give a very big special thanks to Christopher over at Legion of Weirdos for being the first Patreon. Thank you, Christopher. If you listen to podcasts, you can also get answers on the go. I just started rolling out podcast episodes a few weeks ago, so you can find those on all of the major podcasting platforms. So go over there and grab those if that's something that you're into. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button somewhere on this page so you can get more answers to all our questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.